In this course, the tool that we've chosen to use to help you do the business modeling efficiently, effectively, and gracefully is the Flourishing Business Canvas. And we've chosen the Flourishing Business Canvas because what we found in our research and our practice is that this tool provides the best starting point for you to think about all the aspects of your business economically, socially, and environmentally in a single integrated tool. So I'd like to introduce the tool to you that you'll be using. And the first thing that we'd like you to notice is that at the top, we have 3 boxes where you can record the name of your business, the people that are doing the work to design the business, and the date you are describing. So this is not today's date, this is the date that you are about to describe on this canvas. Maybe it is today, maybe it's i.e. how your business is today, maybe it's 6 months from now, maybe it's a year from now, maybe it's 10 years from now. So this is the date that you put up here, the date you're trying to describe. So if we look at the rest of the canvas now, you'll see that the first thing is that we have these 3 large coloured areas in the background. These are known as contexts for your business model. And there are 3 of them that are nested. So we start on the outside as it is in the world, that the environment is the largest possible context that we have. So this is the whole world, the whole planet that we have. And obviously this is something upon which we are very dependent and intimately dependent for everything that we have. All our life possibilities come from the environment. So that's why we start with this as the largest context. Business is something we create as humans, therefore it has to have some strong connection to the environment. The next piece in here is society. So this is human society we're talking about here. So this is all the technology we have, all the people, all the relationships between all the people that are important for us in our world, in our lives, in our businesses. And the society is inside the environment. So this is a nested set here. Society is inside the environment, it's entirely contained by the environment, and it is entirely dependent upon a healthy environment for us to have the possibility for a healthy society. Within society, we have the economy. Now, the economy is something that is created by society, by a consensus in society about how we work together to better meet our needs. And that is the purpose of the economy, to better meet our needs. And so this allows us, this nest allows us to think about how does our business relate to the economy, which is obviously part of society and in the environment. It allows us also to think about just things that are social, which are therefore part of the environment. And it also allows us to think about things that are just environmental, i.e. there is no social or environmental component, social or economic component. You'll notice that different boxes on the canvas have different relationships to these 3 contexts. And as we work through the canvas, you'll start to see why there are certain relationships between the rest of the canvas, elements on the canvas, and these 3 contexts. So the next part of the canvas that I want to highlight to you is what we call the perspectives. There are 4 of them, and they're delineated by these white boxes that you can see here. Here's the one context, one perspective, here's another perspective, here's a third perspective, and here's the 4th perspective. So let me introduce each of these to you in turn. The first perspective is the one that's all about people. So this is all about who is engaged in your business. So everything that's going on in this perspective relates to people, it relates to who is involved. The second perspective is the value perspective. This is all about what it is that you do with the people that are involved in your business. The third perspective is the process perspective. So this is all about how do you do your business and where does it happen? So the where is something that I want to highlight because, first of all, it's connected to the environment. Things happen in places. And it's a distinct difference from what a lot of people have been thinking about in business recently, where there's been this big trend to think about everything becoming virtual, placeless, in other words. And in fact, in our experience, it's really vital to think about how you're going to do it and where that is going to happen. That can make a real difference to your business. Last but not least, the 4th perspective is all about outcomes. What are the outcomes you're trying to create with your business? So this actually relates to your why, relates to your purpose. We're starting to think about the outcomes in order to achieve your why, and we're starting to think about what are going to be the benefits and costs of achieving your purpose, the outcome that you're trying to achieve, your why. Within those 4 perspectives, we have 16 questions that are grouped together. And these boxes here are question boxes. And the reason why they're question boxes is you take the title of this box and you put a question in it. So this would be, who are your stakeholders? What relationships do you have with your stakeholders? What channels do you have to communicate to and from your stakeholders? So this gives you a sense of how you can start to think about, well, what are my stakeholders in my business? What are the channels that I will be using in my business? You could start to respond to these by writing on Post-it notes and placing these Post-it notes in these boxes. Just to give you one quick example about how this becomes useful is you can start to then tell stories by connecting these boxes together. So let me give you a quick example just to say, if we have a particular customer, for example, you could write the type of customer this was, perhaps where they are, perhaps how old they are on a Post-it note, put that here. Then in value co-creations, you talk about what value are you co-creating with that stakeholder. And then over here, you could start to talk about activities. What activities are you going to need to undertake to co-create that value with that stakeholder? And you can start to see that although I haven't really used a particular example here, that's starting to be a story about how your business works and what it does.